along comes Satoshi, and we've got the white paper, and January 3rd, 2009, we launched this little monetary virus or this idea virus, and it kind of burns very, very low level for a while, and people aren't sure of it. It's a gimmicky thing, and it gets bigger and bigger and bigger, and waiting for, well, why would you need it? And you had to be a visionary to kind of need it or get it. If you lived in Argentina and your currency collapsed, and you remember the currency collapsing, or if you lived in North Korea, or if you lived in Africa and your currency collapsed and you watched your family get wiped out, then maybe you get it. But that wasn't the mainstream, right? The Western world is not run by people that lost their family's life savings in Africa or South America. So it was an interesting idea, but it was a fringe idea until 2020. And in 2020, the monetary inflation rate tripled in the US. And what we saw was, in the world's best economies, you're losing 15 to 20% of your economic value in the currency every year. In the second tier economies, you're losing 30% or more. Like the Japanese yen is down 24% against the dollar in the last 12 months, right? And in the tertiary economies, you're losing 50, 60, 70% of the value in the currency. And that's where you get a Sri Lanka, where literally the entire government collapses, or what you're seeing going on in Africa and Zimbabwe right now, or famously in Lebanon, where people have been breaking into banks, taking people hostage to get their own money back, right? The bank robbers are robbing banks, and their demand is, give me my own money back, because the government stole the money and the banks froze it, devalued it, and they're going to give it back to you over the next 17 years, devaluing it 20% a year while they trickle it out to you. So here we are. We're in this great reset, if you will. People are questioning currency. They're questioning their political thoughts. They're questioning stores of value. And every conventional model, the 60-40 bond model, it's broken. Bonds, for example, are down 20% in the same year where stocks are down 20%. Okay, so that never happened for 20 years. So why does that happen? Because when you drive interest rates to zero, if you can't drive interest rates negative, then there's no way to get bonds to go up. So what we've got is the 60-40 models are broken. Conventional ideas like, oh, I'm just going to store my value by buying property, that's kind of broken in a lot of places. People are losing faith in just investing in property when you see the gyrations of this property. The conventional idea, I'm going to buy S&P index stocks. Well, the S&P is slightly up. NASDAQ is flat over the last 2 years. It blasted up and then it blasted down. So what you've got is a lot of people questioning all their premises, and rising through that chaos is a new idea. And the new idea is, what if I can encrypt energy? What if I can encrypt money such that nobody on earth, no government can debase it, no corporation can steal it? I don't trust anybody. People don't trust governments, right? We're at an all-time low in public trust of institutions. It doesn't matter what government. And they don't trust companies. And why? For good reason, because companies are influenced by governments, right? Right? If you're in America, you're certainly not going to trust a company in China. And if you're in China, you're certainly not going to trust a company in America. And then, a lot of people that don't trust domestic companies, and the Europeans and the Australians don't trust American companies either. So there's a lot of lack of trust. So if I can't trust that, then what can I trust? Where am I going to put my money? I'm going to do a slight detour here, Brian, but this is very interesting that I want to share with your listeners, which is I track the financial markets since we embarked on our Bitcoin strategy. So here is what's happened since August 10th, 2020, when we adopted Bitcoin as a treasury reserve asset. Bitcoin is up 65%. MicroStrategy stock, and MicroStrategy's bought 3.9, almost $4 billion, not quite, but nearly $4 billion of Bitcoin. MicroStrategy stock is up 66%. So we are tracking slightly ahead of Bitcoin. The S&P is up 14%. The NASDAQ is up 4%. Whoa, 4%. All of big tech is up 4%. Gold is down 18%. And, you know, bonds, the ultra safe bonds, long-term bonds, down 18%. So in terms of asset classes, the crazy volatile Bitcoin is the best performing of all those major assets. And then you can say to yourself, well, I'm just going to invest in stocks. Okay, let's look at big tech. Google's up 37%, Apple's up 32%, Microsoft's up 16%, Amazon is down 22%, Facebook is down 45%, and Netflix is down 52%. Okay. little MicroStrategy, no one ever heard of, up 66%. Would you have guessed that a mid-sized software company, low-growth mid-sized software company nobody ever heard of, would outperform Google in the last 2 years by a factor of 2? And you know, so last point I make, we compete against companies 100 times as big as us. Oracle, 100 times bigger than us. They're up 25%, IBM's up 3%, Salesforce is down 23%, SAP's down 47%. Okay, so what is the lesson of that? The lesson is we're in the middle of chaos. There is no place to hide. Your choice is you could buy gold, but gold is dead metal and it's just getting ground into the dirt, right? I can seize your gold. Gold is the half-life of money, and gold is 35 years. And you can't put gold on 8 billion iPhones. So the problem is there's no tech in gold, and it was a good idea in the 19th century, and it's centralized. Governments can seize it, and the gold miners keep debasing it. They keep mining more gold, right? In the best year, you get 2% more. In the worst year, someone seizes a bunch of gold, dump it on the market, you get more than 2%. So people are looking for a safe haven. What's it going to be? Property in Africa? Property in Venezuela? You can't have property in North Korea. Property in Argentina? A business? A business where? A business in Argentina where the currency collapses? What good are your cash flows if the currency that you generate the cash flows are collapses in value? So I think here's the big idea, really big idea. Everybody in the world has to decide where they're going to locate their family. They have to physically, they have to decide where they're going to locate their themselves in cyberspace, their mind. Are you going to watch Facebook all day long? Are you going to read Twitter? Are you going to be on YouTube? You know, you're going to go to Rumble? Are you going to look at Instagram? Right? Where is your mind? Right? And then the third question is, where's your business? Are you going to run a yoga studio in Miami? How about a yoga studio in New York? How about, you know, are you going to run a farm in Zimbabwe, a ranch in Argentina? Are you going to buy a company that has business interest in China? How about owning a bunch of businesses in Ukraine or Russia? Right. So where is your P&L? Right. And the fourth big idea is, where is your balance sheet? Okay. You're a podcaster on YouTube. Okay, well, you better make sure that you comply with YouTube platform requirements. Otherwise, they turn off your podcast and they crimp your business. That's where you generate your revenue and you generate your cost. But now, where are you going to save your money? Are you going to save it in U.S. sovereign debt? Are you going to actually store it in gold? Are you going to buy land? Where? In California? In Ukraine? In Russia? Where? In Florida, right? Are you going to buy S&P index stocks? Are you going to buy Bitcoin? Are you going to buy art? So there were conventional answers to all these questions, Brian, and they kind of worked for, you know, there was an answer to this question before 1914. There was an answer to this question between Bretton Woods and 1971. There was an answer to this question from 1971 till the year 2020.